Hey there, fellow hungry travelers. Mark here with Wolters World, and today we're here in Bamberg, Germany. And today we're going to talk about Beilagen, or you might know them as side dishes when you come here to Germany. Because here's the thing, in Germany, there's a lot of pork, there's a lot of meat, and sometimes you're like, wait, I'm having pork and some other things, but is there something that comes with it? Yes. And I'll be honest with you, my favorite German foods I had when I first started coming here were actually the Beilagen, the side dishes. So what should you expect when you get your Haxe or you get your, plate of sausages? What should you expect when you come here? And the thing is, there's a lot. And I think most people, when they think of German side dishes, they think of Saurkraut, sour cabbage, okay? Yes, sauerkraut is quite ubiquitous, but don't think sauerkraut is the only cabbage you'll have when you're here, because you can actually have rotkohl, or sometimes called blaukohl, which is red cabbage or blue cabbage. And what's nice is a lot of times they'll make the blue cabbage actually sweet, where they put apples with it. Oh my God, it's so good. If you have it with duck some places, oh, it's so good. Or the blue cabbage with some Klöße or knödel, which are dumplings. Oh, you can't go wrong with that. And I think another kind of side dish you see sometimes that's related to the sauerkraut kind of family is Grünkohl. And Grünkohl, a lot of times, is actually its own dish with like a ham hock in it. If you're not sure what Grünkohl is, it's just kale. Like, the Germans were hip to kale way before everybody else in the world, and they really like that, so you might see that as well as a side dish. But honestly, the sauerkraut or the rotkohl, the sauerkraut or the red cabbage, that's going to be the one you see a lot more than like a Grünkohl. And the thing is, sometimes they have what's called Ving. And Ving, you don't see it everywhere, but basically it's cabbage based, but just think it's processed cabbage, like up. They call it Savoy cabbage. You can have that as well. It looks kind of like you're getting some kind of like cabbage mashed potato-y thing. It's actually pretty good. Yeah, it's got some flavor to it. But yeah, for some people, they look at it like, Ving, I thought this was a cabbage salad. Why does it come like cabbage puree? So something to kind of think about, all right? Now, another thing I want to talk about are those Klöße or the knödel, the dumplings. Germans love dumplings. And there's different kinds, like tons of different kinds you can have. There's like Klöße, there's like potato dumplings, which really it's like grated up potato smushed together into a ball. They cook it up. That's a very common one you'll see there. I personally like the bread dumplings when you're here. So it's like ripped up bread with spices and they form it together and you have that. But also you might have Leberknödel. Yes, liver dumplings. And when you have the liver dumplings as a side, a lot of times it's going to come in a soup. So it'll be like a beef broth with a Leberknödel inside of it, which is actually, don't get me wrong, sounds weird, but it's fantastic. And I know that soups don't really seem like a side dish in every country, but here in Germany, it's one of those things that sometimes you order beforehand. And for Germans, sometimes the side dishes, the Beilagen, sometimes they'll be on the menu as an appetizer. So not all the time, but it's something you might want to think about. And so I'm going to put in some soups that are really important to have when you're here. And now, they really like their soups here. Like, you can get Kartoffelsuppe, which is potato soup, which is way tastier than it sounds. My personal favorite soup here in Germany is actually the Kürbis-Cremesuppe, which is the pumpkin cream soup. I mean, honestly, any Cremesuppe, it could be mushrooms, it could be asparagus. Oh my God, you're in asparagus season. You gotta have the asparagus cream soup. I mean, you have those that are there, and it's not uncommon to have a soup to start your meal when you're here. So hey, it's not necessarily a side dish, but you can start your meal with it. Now, obviously, one of the big things, I mean, my Vorfahren, my ancestors are from here in Germany, and I remember meeting my great-grandma who still spoke German and all kinds of stuff, and she always had potatoes. There was always some kind of potatoes with every single meal. And yes, you might see mashed potatoes occasionally here, but it's not really a huge thing. What you might see are croquetten, and croquetten, what they are, think fancy tater tots, okay? Think mashed potatoes put together and then deep fried with that crispy crust on the outside. Oh, I still remember my first trip to Germany. This is like we're talking like maybe 30 years ago. I went to Germany, I had a German girlfriend. I went out to dinner with her and her family and her opa and her oma, and they had these croquettes, and I'm like, oh my God, these are so good. And I kept eating them and nothing else. And then the opa is like, wo sind die Kroketten? Like, he was so mad, like, where are the croquettes? I'm like, oh, I didn't realize I wasn't supposed to eat all of them, but Aussie croquettes are fantastic. Also, you might have roast like Bratkartoffeln, which is, you may think, oh, Bratkartoffeln, is that baked potato? No, Bratkartoffeln are like roasted potatoes. So they might have them like in the oven roasted, or sometimes you'll get them sliced up and cooked in a pan. That can be really good as well. And then sometimes you just have potato pancakes, okay? The Kartoffelpuffer, which is not super common, but you can get it someplace. And actually a lot of these side dishes in some restaurants will actually make it as a main dish, but Kartoffelpuffer, the potato pancakes, are quite nice. Sometimes you'll notice they'll put like applesauce on it. And if you see that, a lot of times that's because that's going to be a main dish when they do it that way. And let's be honest, if we're talking about potatoes in Germany, we've got to talk about Kartoffelsalat, potato salad. Look, whatever your German potato salad is back home, wherever you live, it is not like German potato salad here, okay? If you go to the store in Germany, you will see there'll be multiple stacks of different potato salads you can choose from. Maybe it's mustard base, maybe it's mayonnaise base, maybe it's some other base. There's a lot of different Kartoffelsalat here. That's one of the things you might want to ask, like, how is your Kartoffelsalat? Is it cooked? Is it cold? Is it hot? What is it? Because it may be different in different parts of Germany. Because one thing that's great about coming here, you can order the same dish in different parts of the country and they'll prepare it differently. They'll have different side dishes to go with it. So it's really, really nice. And that's one of those things. The potato salads are very different everywhere you go. Though I will say, when you go out to a picnic with your German friends, someone will definitely bring some Kartoffelsalat straight from Aldi, and you'll have that ready in the little, like the plastic container to dish it up and go. Now, if you're looking at vegetables for a side dish, then Germans do like their veggies. They're very healthy in that respect. One thing I would say is if you want to get a salad or salat, there's a lot of different salads you have here, but kind of what I would say is think of a mixed salad. And usually your dressing choices are yogurt dressing or maybe a balsamic dressing, and that's it. Like, you don't usually choose it. Most of the time it comes pre-dressed. So if you're like, oh, do I want French or Thousand Island? No. It's yogurt or maybe oil, vinegar and oil with some balsamic vinegar. That's it, okay? So don't be expecting much, but it does. What I like about the side salads here in Germany is it's not just lettuce. It's got other veggies in there too, so it really kind of helps it like be much more of a tasty treat. And if you go to a restaurant and you're like, wait, I just have like schnitzel and fries, could I get some salad on the side? They'll get you a side salad, no problem. And then other vegetables, when you're here, you'll see they'll have roasted vegetables. You can get that. But honestly, I got to tell you, if you do not like asparagus, this is the country to fall in love with asparagus, because if you come during Spargelsaison, which is asparagus season, you will see so many different things that have asparagus on it, like just asparagus with hollandaise sauce, or the asparagus cream soup I talked about, or maybe you're having some pork loin and they'll put some asparagus on the side. I mean, you can't go wrong. And for my American friends, you have to realize asparagus here a lot of times is white, not green. So you'd be like, why is my asparagus soup white? Like, shouldn't it be green? No, not here. And then to honor my Oma, my grandma, I'm going to talk about Spätzle here at the end. And Spätzle is German noodles when you do come here. And the thing is, Spätzle could be a side with some plain noodles, or you might have Butterspätzle, which is the noodles with some butter on it, or you might have Käsespätzle, which is noodles with cheese on it. Oh, so good. And the thing is, if you're looking at Spätzle, or Spätzle, you can have it, sometimes it can be a side dish, or sometimes it can be a meal on its own. And honestly, if you're someone that doesn't like to eat a lot, like, look, I'm a fat guy, so I eat a lot, so it's no big deal. But if you're somebody that doesn't want to eat a lot, like you want to say, like, I just want to have a big dinner, or I had a big lunch, I want a small dinner, you can get side dishes, the Beilagen, for a meal by itself. Just get a side dish or two and have a drink, and you're good to go. And no German will look the other way if you do that, because they know that their food packs a punch when it comes to calories and filling your tummy, all right? So I hope this helps you know some of the side dishes or Beilage you should expect when you're here in Germany. And honestly, they're so delicious. Sometimes you're like, I don't even know if I want that Schäufele or Haxe. Well, yes, you do. You want the pork anyway. But the side dishes, they're wonderful. So what are your favorite Beilage or side dishes here in Germany? Please put in the comments section below so other hungry travelers can find out other tasty treats to have here in Germany. And I'll say tschüss from here in Bamberg, Germany.